Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to look at Old Elk. Let me look at the blended straight bourbon whiskey. Okay, Old Elk out of Old Elk Distillery, Fort Collins, Colorado, so just over the border down to the south. I'm going to do Old Elk because I decided I'm going to stick with all of my birthday whiskeys. So my wife got me the Fistful of Bourbon and the Fighting Cock, and then this is what we're going to finish with in a couple of videos, the Lagavulin 16. I bought for myself Old Elk and this Gold Spur corn whiskey out of one of the Wyoming distilleries because I wanted to find some stuff more local. I want to feature some more distilleries in Wyoming on this channel because there is some pretty good stuff coming out. Not just Wyoming whiskey, that brand Wyoming whiskey. They're just over the mountain. They make some great stuff as well, but I wanted to get outside of that because there are some really good distilleries around as well. So, birthday whiskey, happy birthday to me. Old Elk, it's kind of cool. If you look at the top there, can you see that? Let me get a little bit closer. The top cork there is cut to look like a piece of elk antler, which is kind of cool. And they did a pretty good job with it. It looks pretty close to what an elk antler would look like, so that's kind of cool. And the bottle, the packaging's nice, the bottle's nice, kind of caught my eye. As far as price goes, I could find this here locally for, it's a little bit more expensive, $44.09. Again, I bought this at the more expensive liquor store here in town because can't get it everywhere. But let's see what we got here. Old Elk. I hear the furnace kicked on here, so hopefully that's not drowning out my video here. But let's see what we got. Bourbon, man. It's bourbon all day long. It's got a little bit of light fruit, light apple up front. And then it kind of moves into a cherry. So again, and maybe this is post-COVID, I don't know, but a lot of the bourbons that I've tried, again, I'm batch shooting these, so if you've watched 3 videos now for the last 3 weeks, you'll know that I've been finding that apple cherry combination, which is not common, and I did not find it before I had COVID. It was either A or B, not both. So, but I'm getting just a little bit of floral in there, a little bit of light fruit, and then the cherry is like, just kind of barely in there. But it's there. And a little bit of vanilla on the end of that nose profile. Very nice. See where it goes here. Now maybe it's because I'm 3 whiskeys in and they've all been 90 proof or above, but it was quite watery. It went watery, punchy alcohol and sweet, and then watery, and then finish with a little bit of spice. We're definitely going to try that one again, because that doesn't seem right. It was kind of cherry forward. It's okay. So here we go. So it's like the nose, only in reverse. So it was a little bit of cherry. I mean, just a slight bit of cherry forward, then watery and slight sweetness, just a bland sweetness in there. Then you hit this alcohol ethanol punch right in the middle of the flavor profile. After that, that profile goes, the alcohol punches up and then just slowly dissipates, and the burn goes down your throat and into your chest. Then you get a little bit of apple in there, and that apple carries forward into a caramel and a little bit of oak, and then a little bit of pepper spice to finish it out. And then that flavor actually carries out quite a bit. That finish draws out for probably 5 seconds, let's say. I mistook, that was not my furnace, that was my water heater kicking on, gas water heater. So hopefully that wasn't too loud on the video, on the audio here. And then that finish, actually now that time the finish went sweet with a little bit of black pepper. So it was black pepper underlain with a sweetness. Those two flavors carried out quite a bit. So, okay, even though the profile has some thin watery bits in that flavor profile, it seems like each sip I'm picking up something different somewhere else in the profile. So first I'll get it in the beginning, or then I'll get it in the middle. Like each sip has progressively given me a different flavor at a different point in the flavor profile, which leads me to believe that this is a little bit more complex than I thought it was going to be, and that it is something that I would have to explore and maybe start with. So it's at 44%, 88 proof. This is the lowest whiskey I've, in terms of proof and ABV, that I have drank so far. This is the fourth one. All the rest have been above 90. So we had 90, 103, and then another 90. And actually, out of all the whiskeys that I got for my birthday, I've only had a couple that are low. I was looking through my whiskey collection the other day, when I was getting through COVID. My go-to to try and figure out whether or not I was getting better or not with the loss of sense of smell and taste was whiskey. I was like, okay, I know whiskey's super nuanced. I know that I can smell it. I know that I can taste it. And so I was using that to kind of gauge my progress as to how far along I was into retaining my sense of smell and taste. And I was looking through my collection, and I realized I got a bunch of ryes and a bunch of bourbons, and almost all of my whiskey is 90 proof and above. I have very few low proof whiskeys. I don't have hardly anything in the 80 category anymore. I got some that are like 81, 82, 83. Okay, not super high, and this is 84, did I say it was? No, this is 88, 44. So I was having trouble finding something that was low enough that I'd be able to just kind of sit and sip on it and not get overtaken by just ethanol. Now that has nothing to do with this whiskey in particular, but I just found it interesting because a lot of the reviews that I'm going to be doing are either bottled in bond or 100 proof, whether they're bottled in bond or not, 90 proof, high 80s. All the whiskeys I got coming up, they're just higher proof, which is interesting. Anyways, so this bourbon, Old Elk, it's a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be. It still has some thin parts to the flavor profile, which, that is what it is. But I think I'm gonna have to sit with it a little bit longer, or maybe start with it in another session, because there's more there. Now that last sip was very, very sweet, start to finish, and almost no alcohol punch to it. Golly, that's interesting. It just keeps changing, and quite drastically. I'm gonna have to drink this a little bit more. Definitely a good bourbon. Don't get me wrong. I am not gonna shit all over this one. It's a good bourbon. It's more nuanced than I thought, and my first impression was that it was gonna be a little thin. It was thin in the nose, thin in the flavor, but I think if I sat and drank it for a while longer, it would open up. It just keeps changing, so it's kind of interesting. It's a bit expensive, $44. So I don't know if you'd be interested in that or not. Please let me know in the comments below. Is $44 too much to take a risk on a bottle for? I don't know. But I saw it on the shelf, caught my eye. The packaging was really what sucked me in. The name, obviously, I bit hook, line, and sinker on all of that, and I like it. I like it a lot. So I definitely would recommend this one to you. So if you haven't already, go check it out. Old Elk. I got it for $44.09 here locally, again at the higher price liquor store here in town, so you might be able to find it a little bit cheaper. Yeah, there's not much more else I want to say about that at the moment, but we may come back to this one somewhere in the future. Maybe on one of my life videos where all I'm doing is talking about something, I'll sit and just kind of sip on this and just see where it takes me. But yeah, definitely check it out. If you're getting anything out of this, please subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you think of these videos, what you think of my reviews, if there's stuff I could do better, or if there's stuff that you're not really interested in, or if there's something specifically that you want me to check out. Let me know. I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say. Thanks for watching, as always, and we will catch you in the next video.